Sir, I have heard people say they are not physically exhausted, just wired. Like their body is tired, but their mind won't shut down. What's exactly happening there?
That's a very common description. One of the executive I worked with said exactly that. She wasn't exhausted at night. She was electrically buzzing.
Oh, so she assumed it was just workload.
Yes, but it wasn't workload. That was unprocessed stimulation.
Unprocessed stimulation, meaning the body never returned to baseline. Is that what you're trying to say?
Precisely.
Sir, we use the word stress a lot, but physiologically, is that stimulus?
Yes, clinically, a stimulus is simply any change in the internal or external environment capable of altering cellular activity.
So it doesn't have to be dramatic.
Not at all, my dear. An email, a traffic noise, and even a message notification, even a memory of your ex, all are stimuli.
And the brain doesn't distinguish between what's important and what's trivial in the way we do, right?
Correct. It converts them into neurochemical signals. From the body's perspective, it's biology, not modern inconvenience.
Sir, I was curious what actually happens between receiving the stimulus and feeling something in our body.
So there's a consistent pathway. First, detection by receptors, then signals converted into electrical or chemical form that leads to the activation of autonomic and endocrine systems. Then finally, your cells start responding to that.
So even something like an email could trigger a full biological cascade, isn't it?
Definitely. For example, your amygdala activates, the sympathetic nervous system engages, adrenaline is released, so your heart rate rises, glucose metabolism altered. So this is not psychological weakness. It's absolutely conserved biology.
So is the problem the stimulus itself or the duration?
Mostly the duration and frequency. And acute stimulation is normal. It's a brief activation followed by recovery and adaptation.
And what about chronic stimulation?
It's a repeated activation with incomplete recovery. Over time, the baseline will shift.
So this means many high performers aren't stressed occasionally. They are stimulated constantly.
Exactly. The nervous system was designed for pulses, activation followed by restoration, and continuous signaling is not its natural mode.
So some people say they don't feel stressed anymore, just flat.
That's another common adaptation. Once a senior professional once described this exactly the way.
So that's not resilience.
No, it's physiological adaptation to chronic activation. Like receptors downregulate, hormonal patterns flatten, and variability absolutely decreases.
And variability is actually a sign of health.
Very much so. Reduced variability often precedes dysfunction.
So, this means stimulation isn't the enemy itself.
Correct. Under what we call a homeodynamic perspective, stimulation is inevitable.
But dysregulation isn't inevitable.
Exactly, the determining factor is your recovery.
So, cells expect to be stimulated, but they also expect restoration.
Yes, without restoration, signals accumulate, activation becomes strained, and performance becomes unstable.
So, we can't eliminate stimulus, but we can restore regulation.
Precisely.
And sustainable performance depends less on tolerating stimulus and more on recovering from it.
That's a very accurate conclusion, my dear.